All right, y'all. So I'm here for Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 8, episode 4. It starts off with Yandy. Um, she is talking about how she hasn't heard from Indices in 5 days. Due to Judy running back and telling some fabrications. And then as she's casually walking the sidewalk, she gets a call from him. Okay, Mona, and this bullshit ass storyline you trying to run, fuck out of here. But anyways, so she's saying to him like, it's been 5 days since I've heard from you. Like, why haven't you been calling? And he was like, man, I just needed a time out. And she's like, what did I do that was that bad? What? No, she was like, what did your mother tell you that was that bad to make you not call me and your kids in 5 days? And he was like, man, I ain't like hearing about you rubbing up on old dude and this, that, and the third. And she was like, okay, but he was ashy and I didn't want him to get lotion on his clothes, and we were doing a photo shoot, and he was like, so would it be okay if I rub lotion on the girl's ass? And she starts getting into Judy popping up at her skincare line event and kind of causing a scene there. And he tells her pretty much, man, just say sorry. And she like, sorry for what? For doing my job, for her popping up at my place of work and everything. And pretty much they both apologize to each other. She apologizes for rubbing lotion on old boy. She's like, I didn't know that it was going to bother you that much. Now I know for future reference. And he apologizes for not getting in contact with her sooner. But Yandy got some tricks up her sleeve for old Judy. So anyways, then we head on over here with Little Moe, Juju, and Snoop. Now, Snoop has been in the she is in the opening credits for this season, but this is our first time seeing her since the first episode, I believe. So what is her storyline supposed to be this season? Like, what I'm saying? It just seems like she just really don't have a purpose here, and I don't understand why she's in the opening credits for. But anyways, they all know each other. Moe starts talking about her kids and how her son, saw some things on the internet in regards to Little Moe and Carl's marriage. And yesterday, my memory did kind of get jogged about the allegations that had been put out against Carl for the last couple of years now, especially this one girl that keeps on, saying that her and Carl been messing around. And then I think I read yesterday on Famulos that he was also accused of, messing around with dudes too. And they were recently on that show called Couples Court. I didn't even bother to, watch the shit because I'm just, I didn't care. But anyways, Snoop, she's like, I'm going to tell you something, people going to always be able to type in some shit or whatever, and shit just going to be able to pop up, but the lie is more entertaining than the truth. And, Snoop is like, she knows Carl, from boxing up in Philly, and that's she was like, that's my dude. That Baltimore accent. And she was like, I know that Carl isn't cheating and this, that, and the third. I'm like, you sure about that, Snoop? So pretty much they tell Moe to go, to just talk to Carl about it and see can they come to some type of resolution for her to feel a little bit more secure about where they're at. But anyways, then we head on over to Mariah Lynn and James the Lame, or as she calls him, Lames R. And, she talks about how he wanted to meet up. And she, decided that they could meet up in the park where the birds are at, because this is like his natural habitat. He loves being around bird bitches, Sofia being one of them. And James the Lame is pretty much still blaming Mariah Lynn for that whole situation, when he don't realize, like, no, motherfucker, you started all this bullshit, okay? But, he trying to run that game, kind of like the same shit that Cisco be trying to do. And, like I said, yeah, I definitely see what everybody is talking about with the Cisco comparison, but, anyways, she's like, I'm not here for you to try to run game on me. I was trying to support you. And then Sophia's sitting up here talking about oh, we wasn't together and everything. And, James is like, man, I don't know why she said that. And Mariah was like, because you told her that. Like, do you think I'm stupid? And, Mariah's like, she's supposed to have a man and everything, but yet she's so worried about whether me and you are together or not. And he starts to bring up the fact that, him and Mariah, both, there's similarities pretty much, and the shit that they went through in their life, kind of like the same thing with Cisco. You remember Cisco did that same shit to Mariah. And, Mariah's like, you, had me looking crazy and getting physical and this, that, and third. And, they going back and forth a little bit and she leaves, she's over it. That was that with them. Then we get Yandy, Jonathan, and somebody new that we're getting introduced to named Bella. They talk about Judy and her nonsense, and, Yandy says that she's been seeing on social media, Judy being hugged up with some young dude, and she was like, and that don't look like her husband Kenny. Judy been married for 18 years, and, Yandy pretty much is going to reverse the situation on Judy. And, Jonathan, any other time, he would be like, no, Yandy, don't stoop to, Judy's level. But, Judy was doing way too much, especially at the last event that they were at. So he's all for it. Bella, she tells Jonathan, well, I scheduled an appointment between you and Anais because, Jonathan and Anais were best friends at one point in time. And, they used to sneak into gay clubs together when they were, teenagers. And he was like her makeup artist. And now she's sitting up here trying to say how he's Hollywood and be with Kate Michelle and all this other stuff. And, he doesn't appreciate, her going around telling people that, that they've been having orgies and all this other stuff when they was younger. And I was like, well, I don't remember hearing nothing like that on the blog. So, I mean, you kind of just told on yourself to millions of viewers watching this show. Just saying, Jonathan. But yeah, pretty much, and Bella, she's in the middle of it because she's friends with Anais and she's friends with Jonathan. And she pretty much just want them to make up. But, yeah, so anyways, Sofia, we have Sofia, Jacquay, Brittany, and the dude Graf, the one that Yandy was, putting the lotion on. So, we find out that Sofia been living with Jacquay, after only 6 months of being together. I'm just like, motherfuckers just don't know how to slow down a little bit nowadays. After 6 months and y'all living together? Anyway, so, Graf, brings up the fact that, she's a video vixen. And she was like, oh, I don't do videos anymore. I'm a DJ now. And, Jacquay is pretty much speaking so highly of her. And as I was watching this scene, I was like, he just don't know. But anyways, so, Brittany, she, pretty much likes Sofia. She met her 5 years ago when she was freestyling at McDonald's. And, I guess Brittany was trying to bag herself. But, they just ended up being pretty good friends. And the fellas, they go over to the bar for a minute. So Sofia is telling Brittany about, James the lame, and then, about Mariah Land, getting physical with her and how James lied about their situation or whatever. And, Brittany is like, I mean, Mariah didn't want somebody, she didn't want somebody, that was pretty sitting next to her, something like that. And Sofia is like, well, that's almost everybody. I was like, well, damn. And speaking of Sofia, I remembered her. She was on Black Ink Crew, New York a few seasons ago. with she was doing a photo shoot with C's, and Duchess got mad because he had his hands on her ass or whatever. But she looked different. She looks different. I don't know if she lost weight or whatever, but she looked different. But anyways, I'm getting a little off here, but so Brittany, she don't really have a problem with Mariah, but she just tries to stay clear of her because she knows that she's friends with Bianca, and Bianca is the ops, and hanging with Bianca, of course she would do some shit like that. And I'm just like, I try not to say nothing about Brittany constantly talking about Bianca, but it's just like, I mean, that's pretty much her storyline. Because we haven't seen no music from her yet, or heard no music from her yet, so. But anyways, Sofia says that she's gonna tell Jacquay about it, but just not at this moment. I'm saying, not if Graf doesn't tell him first. So anyways, then we get like Carl and Moe. They meet up on like a bridge or somewhere, and she's saying something about him not having his ring on, and he's like, I mean, I'm working out, like, like, what's the issue? And she talks about her son Googling shit, and what came up, and he's like, okay, well, I mean, what is it going to take pretty much for this situation to be like dead? And she wants a lie detector test, and she says, she talks about how social media don't want her to believe her husband and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, girl, really? Social media? Like, it was probably already issues way before social media came about. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, what marriage is this for Moe? Is this like her third marriage, second or third marriage? Like, I just feel like Moe don't be with these dudes really long before she gets married to them. And it's like, I mean, come on now. But anyways, and I heard that he was cheating before, they even got married. But I mean, I don't know. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, girl, I just don't know what to tell you. Either you trust him and you ain't gonna believe what's on social media, or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But I think he is. I mean, especially with the receipts that's, been presented. But, yeah. But anyways, so Carl kind of tried to like manipulate, the situation a little bit, talking about I mean, I'm gonna just let you know right now, if I get this lie detector test, then that means, I'ma always feel like you don't trust me, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, moving on. We get James the Lame and the dude Graf. They meet up at the basketball court. They start talking music and how, they need to, collaborate with one another. James brings up Sofia being like on his video shoot, and Graf is just like, just kind of listening at first. And, James says, Mariah, because I think Graf had brought up Mariah, and James is like, I mean, she wild, and, like, she, put hands on Sofia, and da-da-da, and I feel bad for putting Sofia in that situation, and, I feel like she's digging the kid, and yeah, I didn't say nothing about this before, but James the Lame and him talking about himself in third person is so fucking aggravating, and I'm over it. But anyways, like I said, he's saying that he feels like, Sofia is feeling him and this, that, and the third. And Graf is like, I mean, well, she with my boy Jacquay and everything. And, James the Lame is like, well, pretty much she was acting like she was a free agent. You know what I'm saying? But, anyways, in which, in a way, like I told y'all last week, she kind of was, because, I mean, yeah, why are you asking about him and Mariah Lynn when you got a whole nigga? Anyways, we get Yandy. She pops up on Judy and everything, and the dude that she was on the date with was feeding her oysters and stuff, and I was just like, Mona, I don't want to see this bullshit. I do not want to see this dude feeding Judy any type of food. Like, no. I don't know. No. Judy, no. Too old. I don't want to see old people doing all that kinky, stuff on TV. But anyways, so Yandy, like I said, she pops up. She's asking questions and she talks about how Judy is married and Judy trying to run this lie, talking about well, we've been divorced for 6 years now. And Yandy is like, girl, please, you were just at my house for Thanksgiving and it was your husband Kenny that was cutting the turkey, okay? And Yandy starts to tell about how Judy be popping up on her and everything. And, Yandy is like, do you know, Judy has a son who's almost 40, and have you put him on the list to go see Mendices and blase. And next thing you know, old dude, he just really ain't give a fuck. He still went over there and fed Judy some more oysters anyway. And I was just like, so anyways, then we get Jonathan, Bella, and Anais. So Jonathan is saying how he put up with a lot from her, how, he would come back to New York, walk up in the club, and how motherfuckers would be saying that Anais is saying how he done turned Hollywood and how he bougie now. And, Jonathan is like, when Anais was famous. I was like, did y'all catch that? He said was. He ain't say still. He said was. He was like, when Anais was famous or whatever, she was real nasty and rude to her fans and everything. And I could kind of see that from Anais, to be honest. And, she's sitting up here trying to project that bullshit on me because she jealous. And, then they get into the conversation about, how she tried to say that Jonathan, sucked her pussy and all this other stuff. And Jonathan was like, I ain't never sucked that roast beef pussy and all this other stuff. And, she was like, well, first of all, I got my shit reconstructed, so it's real pretty now. I was like, oh, so it was looking like roast beef beforehand. Because she didn't deny it, but anyways, she's sitting up here saying how he smelled like plastic because he got so much plastic surgery. And, he talks about how Anais told the whole table at his birthday party, I think last year or something like that, he was saying how they had an orgy and all this other stuff. And, she feels like that don't make him look crazy. And Bella was like, you did that in front of his family, though. But once again, Jonathan, I don't remember hearing about this shit anywhere, so you kind of just put this shit out here for everybody to, know about, pretty much. And, Anais is like, child, please, we done did worse shit. And, she calls Jonathan a hypocrite because of the fact that she found out how he really feel about her. Like, why it take you all this time and everything? Like, you dead to me, they dead to each other. He walks out, that's that with them. Then we get Jacquay, Graf, Self, and Snoop. Graf, he tells them about James DeLame and Sofia. And, Jacquay is shocked to hear all this because she told me she wasn't doing the videos no more. And Graf is like, she might have not been giving off the right energy to James DeLame. And, they like, what you mean? Like, you holding back? And Graf is like, listen, I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what has been told to me. And, Self is like, lames is an opportunist. Like, I seen that shit when he was at the thing with Mariah Lynn. And he's like, well, Mariah was supposed to be his girl. Why wasn't she in the video? And Graf was like, well, Mariah came, but her and Sofia ended up getting into it. And Self is like, well, maybe she was doing some shit that she wasn't supposed to be doing. And Snoop pretty much tells Jacquay to check Lame-o, you know, talking about James the Lame. So yeah, that's pretty much that with their conversation. Then the last scene, we get Dream Doll, Brittany, and Sofia. You know, in the earlier scene, you know, they were showing Brittany with her grandma and everything, and you know, her grandma has to go back to the hospital, and you know, she's telling Brittany is telling Dream Doll, you know, Jacquay's girlfriend about to come through, and as soon as, you know, she says the name, Sofia, Dream Doll is like, she's a thought, and you know, that's not your friend, and she's Safari's ex. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with you and her? I mean, I understand you talking to Safari now, but I mean, like I said, what does that have to do with you and her? It don't seem like you really know her like that. So, but anyways, Sofia comes. She could feel the tension because Dream Doll decides to put her damn shades on. And, you know, Brittany is like, I mean, can you take the glasses off? Like, this is some serious shit right now. And, you know, Dream Doll notices Sofia taking the top off her drink. And, you know, she like, why she taking her top off? And Sofia is like, I could feel the shade. And so, you know, Dream Doll takes her top off too. And, you know, Brittany is trying to get them back on focus. Like, hello, this is about me. And, you know, she puts both of their tops back on their drinks. And, you know, Dream Doll is doing the most, and like you know, if this was you in this situation, you know, you'd be the same way. Like, you know, I go off actions. But wasn't you just reprimanding what's the girl name? Wasn't you just reprimanding Bianca last week about, you know, oh, so you gonna let Brittany influence how you want to act and this, that, and the third. Oh, so now you gonna let Sofia influence how you act, and you are, you know, like you automatically was on the defense soon as the girl came into the room. You feel what I'm saying? So like, yeah, hypocrisy at its finest. But anyways, so Sofia, she gets up. It looks like she's trying to get up to leave. Dream Doll throws her drink on her. Sofia tries to throw her drink back, but it ended up hitting Brittany instead, and Brittany going off and everything. And then Dream Doll like, I'm sorry, sis, bitch. You should have thought about that shit before you start throwing some shit. But anyways, that was the episode, y'all. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.